CURLSASK is proud to announce Friday, January 27th as the Affinity Credit Union Curling Day in Saskatchewan. We reached out to Saskatchewan for help with creating a new t-shirt design for this special day. We received over 20 submissions from people all over the province. But there could only be one winner. Congratulations to Amy Fredette from the Estevan Curling Club. CURLSASK is so excited to use this design for our Provincial Day of Curling on January 27th.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
There's no doubt running any kind of farm comes with day-to-day challenges. We built a new facility 2 years ago. Technology has totally revolutionized dairy farming. Sask Milk gives us the tools to provide high-quality standard of milk, making sure our equipment is all well taken care of, make sure that those animals are housed and cared for appropriately. They continue to push us with their standards to make sure that it just gets better and better.
Today, online bullying is more common than ever, but there is help. SaskTel wants to solve this problem. It's why they created Be Kind Online. If you're a victim of online bullying or know someone who is, or even if you just want to stop it from happening to anyone, this is a place to learn what you can do. You can find lots of tools and tips to help you stand up to cyberbullying. Be Kind Online is a place to learn how to stay safe as well, to learn best practices and plans to stop cyberbullying before it even has a chance.
All right. Okay, we are here at the Under 20 Curling Provincial Championships in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. It's end 2 between Kesslering and Kessel. Kessel with the 1-0 lead going into the second.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
The Roaring Game. We all love it, but sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. Don't get stuck in your curling club this year. Learn the game inside and out. Play for your favorite country and take the curling world by storm. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's play curling. Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
There we go. Sorry about that. We are back here. Clears up the front. And Team Kesslering looks to replace the guard. Lots of curl on this ice here. They're taking almost edge of 12. This one's got some room. Should come around. Little tick. And pretty good. Pretty good throw. And they'll look to remove the guard again here. And just clips the backside of it. That'll do for appeal. And they're going to keep replacing the front here. We've got to protect that red rock right in the middle of those two yellows. It's currently the steel point. And I'm not sure if that guard got all the way over. Should be able to play the yellow-red run here. July 3. Just a little too thin. Clears the top. Doesn't quite get that.
That's what we call them?
Yeah, yeah, I'm getting wiser by the minute.
Bit of a tighter path with that yellow high guard up there, along with the red one, but they should be able to get one in and block the path for yellow. This touches the yellow, but looks like that'll play. Might be a hole there. Yeah, it looks like they're playing through the hole, trying to get rid of that red rock.
Check, check.
Yep, I got you. I got you here. And just crashes on the top red. Works as a peel though.
Test 1, 2, 3. You got me here, Bo?
I got you here, yep.
Right on. Well, I am going to welcome myself halfway through this 10-end curling game. My name's Chris Heichert. Thanks, Bo. We had some technical difficulties at the start there, but we're rocking and rolling now. You want to give me an update of what's going on here?
Yeah, so we're just in a tie game here. They split singles. They each took a single, and now we're in a pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty aggressive third end here. One team trying to get their deuce, the other trying to steal, and we'll see what happens. Looks like Kesslering is going into the rings.
You know, these are two of the stronger under 21 junior women's teams. Matter of fact, I think Kesslering is still even in the under 18 category. So definitely two of the top women's junior teams here in Saskatchewan.
Oh, for sure, yeah. This looks like a good rock here.
Doesn't look like much for yellow other than to draw to the side of the button for their one, hey?
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing here.
You know, that button is wide open, but I'm sitting upstairs behind sheet one, so plenty of room to get at it from up here in the lounge. While they're having a discussion there, I just want to point out a couple things. One of the players on Team Kessel had an exam, a university exam to write at 10 a.m. this morning. So they got a bit of a mixed match of a lineup here. They have Elizabeth at skip, Maya at third, Claudia, the alternate at second, and Hannah at lead. But we're in for a surprise here. Coach Zumak says the lineup is going to swap up at the fifth end. Their regular player will be back, so.
Okay. Yep.
Tessa, I believe. Tessa Silversides is writing the exam. She'll be back after the first end. She'll move into that third position. And Maya, who is currently playing third, will move back down to the second position. Last shot here in the third end. Looks like it's a draw for one to the side of the button.
Oh, they're hitting it early. Line looks good. Gonna come up a little short, and that'll be a steal of 1 red for Team Kesslering. It'll be up 2-1 without going into the 4th end.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
So the unique thing about Stringham is, although we've grown, we still maintain the small town law feel.
And it's important to Stringham to go into those communities, to provide those high-level legal services to our community members, and to live in those communities, to support those communities, and to help those communities grow and thrive.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Alrighty, folks, we are back to kick off the 4th end here of the Under-21 Junior Provincial Women's Championships here in Swift Current. My name's Chris Heichert, and with me I have Bo Cornelson. He's tuning in from Alberta, and you're stuck with us here for the remainder of the game. So welcome to everybody tuning in to watch. Quick recap here. I'm going to go across the sheets. On sheet 3, we have Team Todd versus Team Kleider. And Team Kleider seems to be all over them early with a 6-0 lead through 3 ends of play. On sheet 4, we have Team Resch versus Team Taylor, and Team Taylor is up 2-1. Over on sheet 5, which is our featured sheet, we have Team Kesslering and Team Kessel. And as you all saw, it was a steal of 1 for Red Kesslering, and they have a 2-1 lead after 3 ends of play. And on our last game, sheet 6, Team Pomedley versus Team Schlechter, and they're all locked up at 3 apiece through 3 ends. So over to our featured sheet. Missed what happened there. We got a red guard just touching the boards and a one on the top of the forefoot. Give me an update there, Bo, on what happened.
Yeah, so they just tried to get around the guard and hit that yellow. Just over curled there and clipped the guard. It's open now, but
you know, I'm going to hazard to guess. I'm going to hazard to guess that the word over curl out here is going to be said a lot. I put my main man, head ice maker Jason Broughton, on the rocks, and he brought out the 40 grit sandpaper, and we really went to town on these bad boys. So we should not hear any complaints out there about there not being enough curl.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting lots of curl already here.
You know, that being said, Jason Broughton and his team here at the Swift Current Curling Club, we are just treated to some of the best ice that you could ask for in a curling club. Nice speed, plenty of curl, and I can't say it had anything to do with our past junior ice technicians. Can you say that, Bo?
I think that could have been a factor. It's always
Bo Cornelson was one of our ice technicians here throughout the years, and he had a big hand in making sure we had great playing conditions here in the Swift Current Curling Club.
Yeah, it's always nice coming back to Swift Current and playing on their ice. Some of the best ice I've played on throughout my curling career.
Looks like we're in for a bit of a fairly open end this end, exchanging some nose hits here. Speaking of ice technicians, throwing the stone here is Erin Tebow. She's also one of the junior ice technicians here in Swift Current, even offering to help do the ice this weekend while she's competing for a provincial title. So she can be thanked for her hard work out here and making sure we have great ice surface to play on. You having a coffee this morning, Bo?
Not yet, no. Might be a fifth end break.
Fifth end break is
Good
when the
idea,
Baileys,
yeah.
that's when the Baileys get added to the coffee.
Yep. Get by. Gonna roll to the other side, it looks like. Good shot.
This live streaming here is brought to you by Saskatoon Curling Stadium. The Swift Current Curling Club installed the infrastructure here last year, and as many of you know, we've been live streaming some high-profile events throughout this season and last season. It's just been wonderful what Curling Stadium and their team's been able to do, bringing curling to you right in your house on your tablet, computer, iPhone. Great technological advancement in curling, giving it the cover.
Now Team Kessel looks to go around this corner guard here. It is a pretty high guard, but good weight. Probably can see about a little over half of that rock from the other end. I'm going to play a soft weight to hit here. Good throw. Now Team Kessel's going to try and play the hit and roll behind the guard. Playing the out turn. Gonna roll almost too far. Just bites on the back 12 there. So Team Kesslering is going to go a little aggressive here and try and bury one behind the guard instead of playing the hit.
You thought you lost me.
Oh. And this one looks a little hot. Coming down.
And looking like a pistol for me here, Bo.
Yep, you're right. It's a great shot. Might be able to get at it with the out turn. The soft weight hit.
Big thank you to our ice officials. We have Jan, Pogo, Dennis Schuler, and Gary Schultz. The three of them are down here officiating this event this weekend. It's a fair-sized event with the men's and the women's going on out here at the same time. But they're some of the best. They've done a lot of the big events, and I think you'll see a few of them at the men's and women's provincials down in Estevan in a couple weekends from now. So. What's the call here? Yellow with hammer, Bo. The plan just to intern come around and freeze one to that red rock?
Yeah, it looks like it. Trying to set up the deuce here.
You think whether...
It's going sideways. Looks good. Oh, just by the guard.
Got to be careful where you place this rock. You don't want to set up a crosshouse double of some sort for a three banger. So it'll be important to place this stone in a good position.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I see they're coming to the center. I mean, ideally it looks like they wanted it top 8. But if they slip deep to the button, that could spell disaster. Would you ever throw an out turn and maybe just throw a rock out to the wing there just to make the double that much tougher?
Yeah, I'd maybe throw it to the side there. It's, if they ever come T-line here, then on this line, it could, yeah, very well be a shot for 3.
But I'm not going to question their strategy out there. There's a reason you and I are drinking coffee and Bailey's, and there's a reason why they're out there out on the ice. So.
Yep, exactly.
She's biller to post this one here. The girl's got on her right out of her hand. Very important to put this in a good position.
Third comes up to help. Looks like it's going to be just short of the rings. Now, is there a shot for 3 here still, do you think?
You know what? That's a great angle that Curling Stadium has for us there. That red rock is overburied. But with the amount of curl here, it's possible with back line you could get to the nose or better. Here's another thought. That yellow rock, could they ever run that yellow rock back on an angle for their deuce, or is that even there?
The one in the top 12 there?
Yeah.
I think you'd have to play the intern, but maybe, yeah.
You know what, these teams quite often, it's all about managing that scoreboard, and having hammer in the even ends is important. So making sure you score here for Team Kessel is important. It keeps you tied up, but it leaves you hammer in the home end with 6 ends to play. So taking one here is not all that bad. just depends on how aggressive you want to go to possibly get that deuce. Should see some heavy late swing here.
Just gets by that red. It's coming in.
Now, will it stop in time? Stop in time? It does! Count them up. 1. Okay. I won't do my Vic Roeder impressions anymore. Our viewers are going to be much more Bailey's to listen to that. So yellow gets a single, and it is tied 2-2 after 4 ends of play. We'll be back after these short commercials.
At Viterra, we believe in the power of connection. Our world-leading agriculture network connects producers and consumers to supply top-quality food ingredients each and every day. Our team takes great pride in working closely with farmers to help feed the world. It's something we've been doing for over 100 years. And as an industry leader, we're dedicated to playing a critical role in meeting the needs of a growing world. Because together, we're stronger and achieve more.
There's no doubt running any kind of farm comes with day-to-day challenges. We built a new facility 2 years ago. Technology has totally revolutionized dairy farming. Sask Milk gives us the tools to provide high quality standard of milk, making sure our equipment is all well taken care of, make sure that those animals are housed and cared for appropriately. They continue to push us with their standards to make sure that it just gets better and better.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Alrighty, folks, we are back. Kicking off the 5th end of play, we've seen the center guard go up. Red Kesslering went to the corner, and now the call is for the come around. So I think we're going to see a few rocks in play this end, Bo.
Oh, I think so, definitely. This is where teams want to get aggressive, try and hang a couple numbers on the board, or try and get a steal. Especially going into the 5th end break.
You know, as this ends shaping up, I just want to take a chance to thank a pile of sponsors that we have. As every curling fan watching knows, and every curler knows, curling just isn't possible without the support of partners and sponsors across the board, whether it's for the curling clubs, the curling teams, the curling events. It's truly the sponsors that make this happen, and SaskTel's a big player in curling in Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan Lotteries, CURLSASK, Sask Milk, Viterra, all great supporters of curling in Saskatchewan, so a big thank you goes out to them. And even on our live stream here, we have a local law firm, Stringham Law Firm, jumped on board. They wanted to be a part of the junior curling, right down to the Tim Hortons bringing the coffee that I'm putting my Baileys into. So big thank you to all of them for their support of curling, and specifically junior curling in Saskatchewan this weekend. Couple nice shots to start this end. They got that yellow guard dead buried around the center. And with the great ice conditions, that red rock was almost able to dead bury around the yellow in the rings.
Yeah, lots of action
Got
around
the
the
ice
center
down.
guard here. Looks like they're going to try and play a little tap back or a hit on this side of this red one here.
Well, if I were looking pretty good here.
There's another good shot. Taps it to the back 8.
Kessel here, by throwing up that center, you would think they have every intention to force Kesslering to win this end and get that coveted hammer coming back home in the 6th and even end. What, Bo, you're not too far removed from the junior curling scene. What are you up to these days with curling? I know you moved out to Alberta to do a little bit of curling. Who do you curl with, and how are you making out this year?
Yeah, so I'm actually still in juniors. I'm curling with the University of Alberta Augustana team. And we have a college event coming up tomorrow and the rest of this weekend. And next week is the Alberta Under-20 Provincials, which we will be competing in as well.
Oh, that's nice, yeah. You moved out to Alberta to do a little bit of curling, aren't you? Kind of with the U of A program?
Yep. Yeah, it's been good so far. Lots of reps in.
Also, while I'm in the mood of giving shout outs, I'd like to give a big shout out to the competition liaison, Kelly Schaefer. She does a lot for curling here in Swift Current, and specifically for this event. Just all the behind scenes that a lot of the curlers don't see that goes on to put these events on and make sure they run smoothly. So we have a great team of volunteers here as well, helping out with the timekeeping, inputting scores on Curling Zone and CURLSASK. So yeah, as many of you know, it takes a full team of people to run these first class events and make sure we put on a good show for these curlers. What's the plan here? Are they trying to wrap one around that corner? No, they're attacking that one around the guard.
Just touches it. See where it rolls. And just pushes it too far.
This gives Kessel an opportunity to put some heat on. What do you like for a call here? Is the center guard the call? Reason I ask is because if you put up a center guard, I could see Kesslering just completely ignoring it and wrapping one to the top of the forefoot.
I like this call here, the tap. This was my first thought. There's definitely room to draw around that, so if they threw the guard, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, interesting situation here because there is the tap back on yours. But what that does do is leaves 3 open yellows in the rings, and it'll give the other team an opportunity to possibly make a double, triple, possibly roll behind a corner and completely change the landscape of this end. So looks like they've elected for the center guard. left a bit of a hole there between those guards, so this will give Kessler an opportunity to make a little hit and roll and get on a little bit of the offense here.
A little wide.
Explain that to me there, Bo. She was quite wide, but one of their sweepers was absolutely pounding it. What was the thought process behind that?
Yeah, so the last couple of years, lots of teams have switched to the directional sweeping. So if you sweep in line with the way the rock is curling, it's supposed to make the rock curl more. And if you sweep against the grain of the curl, then it's supposed to keep it more straight. So
something I want to point out with what you said is you used the word supposed to. And I think that's important with what you had said because there's several different camps out there on exactly how to sweep and the science behind what sweeping actually does. So like you discussed, their thought process is by sweeping directionally like that, you can control the direction of how aggressively that rock will curl. Also, what side of that running surface you do the sweeping on. The jury's out on what's most effective. So I guess it depends on which science you believe and what you see from the results you get when you sweep.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's lots of studies, lots of different studies out there, and one thing I noticed this year is lots of teams have switched to it's called cutting, where they switch or they rotate their broom head the long way. It's supposed to make the rock curl even more than just sweeping how people normally do.
Right. Skips first shot for Kessel here in the fifth end, and she's still in a good position to get that force. I think she's going to come around and hopefully get this closer to the top of the 4-foot, dead buried. And I'd like to thank our viewers for tuning in this morning. This is the first draw of the Under-21 Provincial Women's Championships here in Swift Current. Chat with you a commercial. I got a game for you to do, so tomorrow at 3. I'll talk to you about it.
This one hangs around on the button, but looks like it over curled, peeked out the other side a little bit.
Those are words I said we could possibly hear quite a bit this weekend. Hey, is racked on the guard or over curled. Lots of curl out here on the ice, so the curlers definitely have to take that into consideration on their shots. Looks here like they're playing the hit, and probably the roll behind the corner might be the best. What are your thoughts?
Yep, I'd agree with you on that one. If they can make a perfect roll here, it brings the 2 into play. Racks on the guard.
There's that word I said we'd use.
Just hangs around on the back 12.
Brooms down and skipper's quite quick to head down to the other end, but this is an important shot that I think could require some discussion. You want to make sure you put this rock in the exact spot you need it to get your best chance at a steal here. With the amount of curl that there is, my thoughts would be you'd almost want to come right into the top 8 foot.
Yeah, top 8 foot would be. If you throw a guard, then I think they'd be able to get around it with backline or hack.
If you're lying 4, I can assure you the opposing skip never wants to be coming down to the other end looking at 4. Puts that pressure on, and that's what it's all about here in the junior ranks, is it being able to deal with that pressure.
Oh. Looks like they got a bad break here. That one picked.
He almost seemed quite quickly out of her hands when the brooms went down. The rock went sideways.
Yeah.
Well, that was opportunity, unfortunate opportunity missed for Kessel there. They really had an opportunity to put the pressure on Team Kesslering here in the 5th end. That opens the door for Kesslering for a nose hit for her 1 point and get out of what's kind of been a bit of a disastrous end for them. Oh, my favorite part of junior curling, looking across the sheets at some of the teams that are already into their 5th end break. It's the 5th end picnic. You wouldn't believe the types of food that come out in the 5th end picnic breaks. Alrighty, Bo, for a loony, I'll let you pick. Does she make this or miss this?
I think she makes it. Yep.
Alrighty, the bet's on. I'm not sure commentary conduct. Are we allowed to make wagers on the shots out here?
All right.
Well, that was the easiest dollar you're ever going to make, and that's
Dollar
a great
richer.
shot. It's a great shot with the pressure on. Red gets their one here in the 5th end and goes up with a score of 3-2. Again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back shortly after these quick, brief messages.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
In the morning I'll be around and you'll know what you're doing by then, and then...
No, you will know me very well. If you say I know what I'm doing by then.
3 o'clock, I don't know if I don't think I will be here, but in the morning I will be, and then I'll have a look and see how it gets going.
CURLSASK is proud to announce Friday, January 27th as the Affinity Credit Union Curling Day in Saskatchewan. We reached out to Saskatchewan for help with creating a new t-shirt design for this special day. We received over 20 submissions from people all over the province. But there could only be one winner. Congratulations to Amy Fredette from the Estevan Curling Club. CURLSASK is so excited to use this design for our Provincial Day of Curling on January 27th.
There's no doubt running any kind of farm comes with day-to-day challenges. We built a new facility 2 years ago. Technology has totally revolutionized dairy farming. Sask Milk gives us the tools to provide high quality standard of milk, making sure our equipment is all well taken care of, make sure that those animals are housed and cared for appropriately. They continue to push us with their standards to make sure that it just gets better and better.
Back live here. Kesslering threw up the center guard. And it looks like Team Kessel's going to the corner guard.
What's the guy's name?
Tomorrow at 10 a.m. will be Bo Cornelson. He used to be an ice maker here. That's who I'm doing the commentary. He's really good. So, yeah.
Where's he out of?
He's in Alberta.
He's in Alberta right now?
Yeah.
He's watching it live.
He's watching a screen and commentating. We're watching it live.
Okay. So he's behind. Is that right on the same time as this?
It's a second delay on there. Well, you can watch and see the difference, but it's not much. We're back in action.
Yep, pretty textbook start to an end here. Center guard, corner, come around.
You knew coming into this game it was going to be a battle, and it's been nothing short so far, exchanging singles throughout the whole game here so far, with 3-2, Kesslering leading after 5 ends of play. So many of the viewers watching, I'm sure majority of you know this. For those that don't, in the juniors, I believe it was just this year they've started it, but actually the coaches are out on the ice surface throughout the duration of the entire curling game. What they've done is they allow the coaches 2 30-second interactions with the teams versus the 1.5-minute timeouts that traditionally you were allowed to call. I had an opportunity to coach one of these teams in an event and be out on the ice, and it was just excellent. So many times throughout, and there's teaching, coaching, learning opportunities for the teams where all it takes is a couple words or a sentence. Have you looked at this? Have you thought about that? To really help these junior curlers develop and improve. So I think it's neat how we're going about having the coaches out on the ice, interacting with the teams, and ultimately helping them develop as best possible.
Yeah, it's always good to have another perspective. Sometimes it's hard to see every angle on the spot, so
speaking of angles, it looks like they can see about 3/4 of this red, so looking for a hit and stick or even a hit and flop over towards that corner. She's gonna sneak by.
oh, just touches the guard.
Just a little tickle. One of the teams out here was asking me for some advice before the competition had started, and in all honesty, my advice was whatever you plan on taking for ice, take a little bit more. With freshly doing the rocks up and with the piles of curl we have out here, which is just excellent, there's no shortage of it. So when you think you have the right ice, take another inch, because the rocks will curl for you.
Just come up to the nose of that red one. Push it to the back 12.
So Team Kessel here really wanting to utilize that corner guard they threw. So playing the hit and roll over to the corner. If it does happen to curl up a bit on them, they have the straight run back double there, but I think they'd really like to spread these yellows out and get one tucked safely around that short yellow corner.
It's like nose, just off nose.
Again, that rock seemed to over curl on them as well too, and it might take a little bit here to figure this out. Lots of ice on these shots. I actually want to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about the curling stadium that we have here in the Swift Current Curling Club. Wasn't too long, a couple years ago, Jerry Gertz, the man behind Curling Zone and one of the men behind the curling stadium, contacted us and asked us if we'd be interested in installing this into our facility. And back then, I know they were in conversations with only a couple clubs across Canada and even the world, and the Swift Current Curling Club took a leap of faith and jumped on board. And it was just been great. I know Martinsville is another club in Saskatchewan that has the curling stadium. But when they started off, there was only about 5 in total. And just with the successes they've had, it's just continued to explode. Leduc Curling Club in Alberta has it as well. The Four Seasons Curling Club in Blaine down in the USA. Dumfries Curling Club, North Bay out in Northern Ontario. Southern California has the curling stadium. So I believe it started off with 5 clubs, following your 7 clubs. Then they were up to about 10 clubs. And I believe going into this season, there's 13 clubs across the world that have curling stadium. And it's just been excellent. It's the coverage curling does deserve. Instead of just waiting for TSN to produce the Scotties and the Brier on TV, this gets you right inside the curling clubs where the grassroots curling is taking place, giving people the opportunity to see how a lot of these teams curl and compete and qualify for these big events. So yeah, across the board, Blaine, USA, Dumfries, Fargo, Frogtown, Grand Forks, Kalamazoo, North Bay, Leduc, Martinsville, Swift Current, Vernon. It's really just been exploding. And any of our viewers, bring it back to your club. Let them know that you were tuned in on the curling stadium, and tell them that they should get it in their club too, because the more exposure we can create for our sport, the better it is for everybody all around. All right, enough of me babbling. What's going on in the curling game here, Bo?
So Team Kessel just had an opportunity to come through the port there and hit the red to, I think, lie 3, looks like, from my angle at least. But once again, just over curled and got rid of the guard, which isn't terrible. But now Team Kesslering will replace it, I believe.
Is it just me, or is the name Team Kesslering quite a mouthful?
Yep, I agree with you on that one. Kesslering.
Throwing up the center guard here on their back one. That looks like that's in a perfect position for them.
Yeah, great spot. Great spot. Now they could play the short yellow run, or they could try and just peel that guard off.
It's great to see the different camera angles we have on our featured sheet here. And a big thank you. There's a big team behind the scenes that goes into producing these curling games.
Chips the yellow through the hole. So that gives an opportunity for Team Kesslering to bury another one here.
Don't know if the hammer is correct on the screen or if that just shows who started the game with hammer, but I believe Kessel has hammer in this end, but Red is applying the pressure here with an opportunity to wrap one and lie a couple buried in the forefoot. Where's a good spot for this rock, Bow? Do they want to come into the forefoot that deep, or up in the 12-foot? Would that be better?
Thinking maybe somewhere right in between in that 8-foot, as long as they don't set up too easy of a double. Yeah, top 12 would be pretty good here.
little bit of a rack on the guard there. Stops just short of the rings. Now, did that leave a hole there for them to get access to that back rock?
It's really tight, but I think if you throw enough weight with the intern,
an intern rocket is what you're suggesting.
yep. Yeah, it's pretty hard to get there with the out turn because that rock on the right side is blocking the little bit of the path.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with you, and I think the skipper Kessel here, Elizabeth, agrees with you as well. She's playing the intern hit. Do have to take into consideration, if you do miss the shot, what guard would you rather rack on? I think if you racked on the corner red one there, you hit it skinny a knife, you might even make that top double and get a couple lemons sitting in the rings.
This one looks close. There's a beauty.
Oh, she makes an absolute pistol.
Great shot.
I was about to lose another $1 to you on that shot, so I'm glad I kept my mouth shut.
I think Team Kesslering might have the outturn hit on this one.
Yeah, and the coach interactions I was talking about, you can see the coach here for Kesslering out on the ice. He has 30 seconds, and it's an interaction is what they're calling them. They don't exactly get the full 90-second timeout, and you see the front end doesn't even come down for this because there is only 30 seconds, and it gives the coach an opportunity to interact with the team and use it as a learning opportunity for these young curlers out on the ice.
Did you say they get 2 interactions per end?
2 interactions per end, yeah.
Downstairs in my office on that shelf is a cash box, and there's lots of full books in there.
What kind of weight do you need on this? Are you wanting to throw a missile, or what looks ideal? Can you avoid not jamming on that back one?
It looks like they're playing a softer weight here, so they could possibly get to the inside of that yellow and roll underneath. Ooh, close.
That was close to getting by, but you know what they say, Bo? There's only a few sports that the word that close counts in, and I can't remember what they are.
Horseshoes and hand grenades?
I know hand grenades was one of them. Well, and horseshoes is the other, and the only other time close would come into play would be that one time I curled you, and you came close to beating me.
So the draw for 2 here. Do you see a shot for 3, or would you just take your 2 and...
Let me have a look here. Yeah, I mean, there is a shot for 3, but that's risky, I'm thinking, and I think she's happy just drawing for her 2 points. Keeping in mind, it is a home end, and a deuce here would go a long ways for Team Kessel to take control of this game through 6 ends.
For sure, especially in a game where there's only been singles scored up to this point.
Gently sweeping this one. Applying a little more pressure now. And it appears to come up a little bit short of the rings. So they're going to have a look at all those other scragglers, but I think they're going to all come to the conclusion that it was 1 yellow and yet again another single on the board, which puts us tied 3 apiece through 6 ends of play here in Swift Current at the under 21 Junior Women's Provincial Championships.
CURLSASK is proud to announce Friday, January 27th as the Affinity Credit Union Curling Day in Saskatchewan. We reached out to Saskatchewan for help with creating a new t-shirt design for this special day. We received over 20 submissions from people all over the province. But there could only be one winner. Congratulations to Amy Fredette from the Estevan Curling Club. CURLSASK is so excited to use this design for our Provincial Day of Curling on January 27th.
There's no doubt running any kind of farm comes with day-to-day challenges. We built a new facility 2 years ago. Technology has totally revolutionized dairy farming. Sask Milk gives us the tools to provide high quality standard of milk, making sure our equipment is all well taken care of, make sure that those animals are housed and cared for appropriately. They continue to push us with their standards to make sure that it just gets better and better.
Alrighty, we're back here in Swift Current, starting the 7th end here, our featured game, Kesslering versus Kessel, and they're all knotted up at 3 apiece. It's been a back and forth seesaw matchup. Going to do a little scoreboard surfing here for you, get you updated on all the games. Sheet 3, we have Andra Todd versus Madison Kleider, and a bit of a bloodbath out there so far. It is 8-1. For Team Kleider. Oh, I missed 11-1 after 6 ends of play. On sheet 3, sheet 4, we have Resch and Taylor is up 6-2. Sheet 6, we have Pomedley and Schlechter, and Pomedley is up 6-3. And then in our featured game, as I just discussed, Kesslering Kessel, it is 3 apiece. And it looks like it's go time here on the featured sheet. We got a pair of center guards. We got a red corner. Red calling for the come around, and I think we're going to have a mess of stones here this end. What's your thoughts, Bo?
Yeah, if you can get around that staggered center guard, it would be really good. Just makes it twice as hard to remove when you've got double centers like that. This looks like a good shot here.
Oh, the lounge is rocking here. The Swift Lawn Care Lounge here in Swift Current. And hearing in the background a little funky Cole Medina playing to get the folks in the mood for some high-level curling. You old enough to know the funky Cole Medina, Bo?
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yellow slips a little deep here. I think they were looking for the freeze on that red one. And this is going to give Kesslering an opportunity to wrap another one right on their yellow, or right on their red, sorry. put some pressure on here.
Now it looks like they're going with the intern now.
How come the change of turns after they just threw the out turn?
Well, it looks like they didn't quite get enough curl they wanted on the out turn side, so maybe try and get around this side right on the center line. Give a little Christmas tree.
You know, that was words I never thought I'd hear out here. Not quite enough curl. She's pillar to post on this one. They'd like to get her here into the top 8, hopefully for second shot if possible.
Not quite second shot, but that's still a pretty good placement for that rock.
You know, good placement for that rock, but yellow, Kessel has a golden opportunity to throw an out turn, come around, lock one on that red one, and it would almost be end over. She's recognizing she might be in a little bit of danger, a little trouble, and it looks like she's calling for a double peel. Always tough when you throw 2 center guards, and then 1 shot later, you're throwing to double peel your center guards out. Not sure I'm sold on that call, Bo. You even make that shot perfect, the double peel. All you're leaving is a corner red guard up with silver reds in the rings, and that's exactly what Red's looking for to build a big end here.
Yeah, I liked your first thought, the out turn freeze, or even a little bit of a tap on that red one.
Keep in mind to our viewers watching, CURLSASK runs a 50-50. It's a progressive 50-50, and all the proceeds go to support Saskatchewan curling clubs. So get your tickets today. You can go to www. How many W's was that? .curlsask.ca and click on the 50-50. 1 for $10, 10 for 20, or 50 for 50. Again, all proceeds going to Saskatchewan curling clubs. It's a great initiative to help support clubs across Saskatchewan. Draw date will be March 26th at 7 p.m.
Looks like they're hitting the back yellow here to limit any possibility of a big end. Hit and roll out.
So red has hammer this end, that correct, Bo?
That's right, yep. We're going to play the, looks like, hit and roll behind the corner. Maybe get the back red on the way.
Center guard's gone, and it looks like she's planning to utilize that red corner guard out in the wings. You know, you see that happen so many times. You throw that corner guard with hammer and then never, ever end up utilizing it. Definitely in the men's and women's scene, you see a lot more when they throw that corner guard. They do everything they can to utilize it, and even though there's center guards up, they try to wrap one around that corner and get the play out to the wing. Looks like they're clearing women and children out of the way in the back here as that one sails through the ring.
Just slides too far. There might be a double here right on the nose. Yep, I think that's the call.
You kind of have that backline draw weight in your back pocket too, don't you, Bo?
Yeah, when I need to, I guess.
When I need the pin, you always got that big weight in your back pocket, yeah.
Yep. There's a
Oh,
beauty.
great shot here. Makes the double and rolls out. And from several rocks in play to just a couple only scragglers now, it's sure changed the outlook of this end. She got it, yeah. Red was going hard for that hit and roll behind that corner. Doesn't quite come up enough.
Yeah, now it's not an easy shot for Kessel here. If they nose it, they won't be in the rings, it looks like. So try and roll a little bit to the left and
So lots of things to consider here, Bo, while they're out there, and I'm thinking hammer in that home end is so important, and a blank end here for Kesslering would flip that script and get them that hammer in the even end coming back home. So you could see them wanting to push hard to get a blank end here if possible.
yeah, definitely.
Catches just a sliver of it and rolls over to the corner.
And just hangs around. That's pretty perfect.
Looks like that rock's hungry over there. We got a biter. That's pretty good. Yeah, move the play over to that corner.
Now it'll be really hard to bring that corner guard into play, so looks like they'll just play for the blank now.
We have one final to update you guys with. Sheet 3. Team Madison Kleider versus Team Andra Todd. And Madison Kleider stole a few more there in the 7th end. And it's handshakes. Win for Team Madison Kleider. Looking for the nose hit here, Bo?
Yep, nose or any roll in, basically. Oh, just catches an inch of it. Pushes it out far enough.
Golden opportunity here for Kessel. You know, forcing that single here in the odd end is exactly their plan, and they have an opportunity if they can bury one around this corner guard. They can possibly force Team Kesslering to one and still be in control of this game with hammer in the home end. I got the 70s and 80s and early 90s pop music playing up here in the lounge, folks. If you're in Southwest Saskatchewan, you better stop by. We have the coldest beer in Southwest Saskatchewan up here in the Swift Lawn Care Lounge. And I tell you what, you won't beat the tunes I got pumping today. So
they're backing away from this one. Right through.
Looking like a Bo Cornelson draw to the button on that shot, hey?
Yep.
So tables have turned. Yeah, tables have turned once again, and Team Kesslering, well, she still has to make this shot, Bo, but she has an open throw through the rings to get the blank that she's looking for to keep the hammer in the home end.
Yeah, and I think that's what they wanted to do this end.
You know what, Bo?
Yep.
Even these shots, even my man Bo Cornelson makes these ones, don't you? The throw-throughs.
Yeah, that's the one I can make most of the time. The one shot.
Yeah. And there we have it. Team Kesslering bombs that one through, gets the blank end, and Team Kesslering will retain the hammer, playing the 8th end. Tied up 3-3 here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. We'll be right back after these short messages. I think the top one, we'll see if it goes staticky on you or not. Allow, turn your camera off, or leave it on. Yeah, I do that. So I think you can turn that camera off. And we are into the 8th end here in what's been a great game so far for our viewers. Center guard goes up. And an opportunity here to wrap one around the center guard. Not sure if any of our viewers can see a chat function while they're watching the curling, but if there is a chat function, send me a message. Let me know where you're tuning in from and who you're cheering for and who you predict wins this women's junior provincial championship.
Can't tell from here. Is that red one still in? Oh, there we go. Looks like it.
She looks like a nibbler.
Just through.
Check. Joining us this end for some commentary is Kelly Schaefer, who is the liaison for this competition. Welcome, Kelly, to the broadcast.
Thanks for having me.
So far, we've had a fairly back and forth game and tied up 3 apiece through 8 ends of play. What, as a liaison for this event, what are some of the roles and responsibilities behind the scenes that you have to look after for these curlers?
Well, a couple of them are just kind of connecting with the home rink, which is Swift Current Curling Club, just to make sure that we have the facility ready for the curlers, and then just being that liaison link with the folks at CURLSASK to make sure that, you know, we're passing that communication on as to what the rink has that the players need, and then what do we need for setup that CURLSASK needs, and just making sure that there's communication between the players, the host, and CURLSASK so that we can have an eventful weekend, and just making sure everybody has what they need to participate.
Yeah, and definitely we're seeing that, whether it's pre-event competitions, opening ceremonies, team socials, feeding the curlers, the live streaming systems. There's just a lot behind the scenes that goes on that many people don't see. And it definitely takes a big team to run these. And it's great here in Swift Current. We have lots of help and great volunteers.
The Kesslering team here have a little bit more advantage for the Swift Current home ice. 2 of them at least curl in the Super League here every week. One of the girls travels down from Saskatoon each week, and then vice versa, one of the girls travels back to Saskatoon to play in the Super League there too. So this ice should be a little bit more familiar if any team is going to have an advantage.
You know, that outlines some of the dedication and commitment these teams put into curling. Yeah, like I said, coming from Warman, just outside Saskatoon, all the way down here to curl Thursday night, 7 p.m. Super Leagues, to get comfortable with the ice and give themselves the best opportunity they have to win themselves a junior provincial title. That being said, this team just recently won the under-18 provincial championships. So definitely the work and commitment they're putting in is paying off for them.
I think it's great that they recognize the commitment that is needed and where they have to go for competition to try and be as best as they can be. And the fact that they are, you know, competing at the U21 level is fantastic. So they've obviously got a great support team as well, that in friends or family that allow them to do that.
Give me an update here, Bo. What's going on out on the ice there? It looks like we got plenty of rocks in play.
Yeah, I got a couple center guards. This looks like a good shot here. Kesslering buried one behind the double centers. And Kessel just followed them in, so looks like we're going to get some action around the center guards here. All about the angles at this point.
Kelly, I know you do so much volunteering for curling here in Swift Current, but also doing a little bit of competitive curling this season yourself. I just saw you qualified for the women's provincials down in Estevan starting January 25th to 29th. Tell me a little bit about that team.
So just when he thought I'd retired. I unretired for some of the season, playing with Robin Silvernagel. She was out of competitive curling, focusing on her family for a little while, and I guess that's what I've been doing too. So they gave a call, Cara and Robin, at the end of the year in 2022 and said, do you fancy putting in a last-minute team and giving it a run for Provincials? So it was works for my schedule because it isn't that much commitment. But I tell you, when we played the last chance qualifiers, it was evident that maybe needed to be in the ice rink a little bit more in practicing. So we could be the underdogs for this provincial coming up, but it should be fun. I know Estevan's a great host. They've hosted lots of events there, and in the big arena they have a fantastic facility. So it will be fun to get out there again and compete. Always when it comes to this time of the season, that's when I wish I played more. Don't miss all the touring that all these young teams are doing now. Just the commitment that's required to be at the top of your game is a lot. But when it comes to crunch time, championship time, that's the times that we miss the most, and we want to be out there and compete as best as we can.
For sure. Missed opportunity there for yellow. Reds created quite the pocket there on the button, and would have been a nice shot to nestle one in there, and you'd almost need one of them hand grenades we talked about, Bo, to get it out of there if that shot was made, hey?
Yeah, it looks like they anticipated maybe the ice to start slowing down this late in the game, but I think it stayed pretty consistent throughout.
Red calling for a bit of a center guard to protect those two that are on the T line.
We noticed Team Kesslering just had a little coach interaction there, and what a great time to do so. As it gets to the end of the game, it's so important that you make the right calls and take your time to make the right shots, because stone placement is so important. I see they just came a little bit further there than what they had wanted, but it doesn't seem like those Reds are going too far, especially with the number of yellow stones that are left.
I'd almost think you'd have to throw it overhand to get that red off the button now. Speaking of those coaching interactions, Kelly, you were talking about, I know in the past and when I was coming through the ranks, we would have the 90-second timeouts and we would get 2 a game. Now I see that the coaches every end have a couple opportunities to interact with the team. And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, wouldn't it be fantastic if in our Super League games during the week that you would be able to have a little bit of a coach interaction, maybe make some better calls in our Super League team. But it's I love it. Like, what a fantastic idea. And I think it was Pat Simmons was the brainwave behind all of this. And I think it's gone to different provinces, potentially even nationally. I'll have to double check on that. But it is those key times in an end that wouldn't it be great that, I mean, the players still have to make the shots. However, you know, just having that little bit of guidance, it actually keeps the game flowing, I think, rather than players standing there not sure what to do, trying to make decisions. It kind of stops play a little bit more. And I find this just keeps the flow of the game going. And we do want our teams to become stronger strategically. And what better way to introduce something like this where they can get the guidance real time, real now, and then make the shots and they can see the outcome. It's so hard to coach after the game where we try to put ourselves back in that position to see what we could have done, should have done. And so if we have it ongoing, I think it's a far better way for our teams to develop. So I think it's fantastic. And really, then you have the right decisions throughout the whole game. Usually most people just take their timeouts near the end of the game, and I think a lot of difference could be made much earlier on. So what a fantastic thing to introduce at this level.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think it's a great thing that they are doing. There was a heater thrown there and it blew up a couple of those Reds. What's the plan here now, Bo? Lock another one in there?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, if they can freeze another one in there, it's going to be pretty hard to remove them and get your deuce, or even more. Let's see. Sorry.
You know,
Red has hammer here, so.
You know, Red has hammer, and Ideally, they'd like to score a multiple, but that even ends that we talked about in controlling the scoreboard, even if they were to score a single here, having a 1-point lead with 2 ends left is a fairly good situation to be in. So scoring is important here, no matter what color of rocks you're throwing.
Excellent weight control on that shot. It's so easy to come a little bit deep on those and then maybe leave a double, and then you've just lost advantage of what you were trying to create in that end. I don't know if they've left a double. It looks like they have just, but it's also risky. You hit that top red anywhere on the outside and it jams on the yellow, and then the reds are drawn for 3. Whereas if you take the risk and try and take the red double there, then maybe yellow sits an advantage. So great stone positioning. They haven't left an easy shot for the opposition, and now they've got a decision that they're talking through with their coach here on what is the right thing to do for them.
Okay, this is my opportunity to get Garney Zumak, coach for Team Kessel here. Garney's been a longtime friend of mine and a heck of a curler for many years, and I've enjoyed beverages with him. He's coached me and came to cheer us on in a lot of the firefighter curling events, specifically the nationals. He's been a big part of that and the firefighter curling across Saskatchewan. And it's good to see him out here, and he's giving back to these young curlers by coaching. So it's great what all these coaches are out here doing, including the fella in the black on the screen there, Jim Wilson, who I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is the president of the board of directors of CURLSASK.
That is correct.
And there's some neat trivia with him. Who was the lead on the last team to win a Brier out of Saskatchewan? You message me if you know who that was. If anyone was wondering, on sheet 5, that sounds like it was 3 yellow. That red rock on the button looks pretty sewn up there.
So
hey,
Team
Bo.
Kesslering will play the wide draw for 2 here. Yep.
Oh, I was just going to tell you, long before your time, there was a feller named Jimmy Packett. And not a word of a lie, we'll have a look at the overhead camera angle again. Not a word of a lie. He made a double from the rock that's on the button and the rock that's way out in the 12-foot there. It was pretty near that flat, and old Jimmy Packett made that double. You'll have to YouTube it to believe it.
Does he throw like 50 rotations or?
He doesn't throw a Chris Heikert rotation, I can tell you that.
No, he's not clean, nor is he that pure. Kesslering here trying to wrap another one here to lie 2. Tickles off the guard.
So they'll take their single here, just a little wide.
Well, I know Kelly Schaefer has a lot to do here with running around keeping this event rolling, but would like to thank you for jumping on board, joining us for that end, and hopefully we'll get you on throughout the week here in Swift Current for some of the commentary.
Thanks, boys. Have fun.
The Roaring Game. We all love it, but sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. Don't get stuck in your curling club this year. Learn the game inside and out. Play for your favorite country and take the curling world by storm. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's Play Curling! Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
So the unique thing about Stringham is, although we've grown, we still maintain the small town law feel.
And it's important to Stringham to go into those communities, to provide those high-level legal services to our community members, and to live in those communities, to support those communities, and to help those communities grow and thrive.
CURLSASK is proud to announce Friday, January 27th as the Affinity Credit Union Curling Day in Saskatchewan. We reached out to Saskatchewan for help with creating a new t-shirt design for this special day. We received over 20 submissions from people all over the province. But there could only be one winner. Congratulations to Amy Fredette from the Estevan Curling Club. CURLSASK is so excited to use this design for our Provincial Day of Curling on January 27th.
Well, welcome back, guys. Here we're kicking off the 9th end of a 10-end curling game here for the opening draw. The Saskatchewan Under-21 Junior Women's Provincial Playdowns. We have a 4-3 lead for Team Kesslering, and this entire game, it's been all singles, Bo.
Yeah, you don't see that too often. It almost seems like whoever can score the deuce here first is going to take it home, but this end looks pretty clean so far.
We have another final to update you with. Sheet 4, Team Taylor over Team Rash. 9-3 was the final score there. So Taylor and Kleider move on in the A event. This women's is a triple knockout with 4 qualifiers, and they have a page playoff that will begin Saturday evening. So it looks like a bit of a wide open end here. You would think Team Kessel would jump at the opportunity to blank this end and get that hammer back in the 10th end with the opportunity to score their deuce for the win.
Yeah, it looks like that's where it's headed so far. It'll be 10th end coming home with a theoretical tie.
None. None. What's the plan here for Kesselbo? Is it to just peel everything out and then get out of here with a blank end? The last thing you'd think they'd want to do is score 1 this end.
Yeah, I think pretty much anything but nose here is perfect. Because if they nose, they won't be in the ring, and it'll essentially be a center guard.
That shot there could spell disaster, though. By not removing that stone, it gives Kesslering the opportunity to completely split the rings.
Looks like they're going to the center line.
Eek, I think you would want to separate these rocks as much as absolute possible.
Yeah, I agree.
The force of one here would be huge for Team Kesslering, and you do not want to group these rocks and set up the potential for a double. Sweepers are staying clear of this one for the time being. This one skates a little bit deep into the back of the house. And it does stick around. What's your thoughts here? That blank would be so huge for Kessel. Do you take a run at making this double right now? Or do you nose hit it and try to get a little bit of a better double situation?
You could also play the hit and roll on top of that one, on the one on the wing.
So I tend to agree with you. You want to group these stones, and the best way to group them is have them closer to the center. So without question, I would hit that one out in the wings and try to roll in front of the red.
And they're going to roll out here, but they did remove it. So Kesslering can split the rings again here.
Yeah, by coming to the center like they are here, it makes it so important to have perfect rock placement. A little bit high or a little bit deep creates that double. I definitely would be wanting to spread these rocks out a little further. The girls are on this wrong. Getting these rocks pretty even is the goal here.
Yeah, that looks really good. It's a very flat double, but I think the hit and roll towards it is the play.
So, you know, if I were a coach, and I think you have Zumi doing his coaching interaction opportunity here, I think without question, the play is to hit the wide one out in the wings and roll towards the center. There is no double situation here. So by hitting this rock, you just allow your opponents to hit your rock and roll further away to the other side of the rings, not allowing you to ever make a double. So if you hit that rock that's out in the 12-foot and roll towards the 4-foot area, then it doesn't matter where your opponents hit and roll to, you're going to have a double of some sort on your next one. So if I was Kessel's coach, Garni Zumak, I'd be doing jumping jacks here, not letting them hit this rock. But unfortunately for Garni, his days of being able to do jumping jacks are long past him. So
just underneath.
So that, like I said, by hitting the rock you were hitting, there was no double there, and that was to be expected. And you were just losing opportunities and time in this game here to set up that double and get yourself out of this game. And as things sit now, Yellow's going to be forced to a single here in the 9th end, which would put smiles on Team Kessling's face. Sweepers are watching this one come into the rings. They would like it to stop somewhere near the tee line.
It's a pretty good spot. Now, I don't think there's a double there. It's super thin, but
I will tell you what, you are without question forced to one here. So again, Garney should start doing some jumping jacks without question. You try that quarter rock double or even hit and roll in front of that one.
oh, for sure. Yep.
You know what? If you can foresee a force, which is the way this end's going, you may as well even try a freeze on this back one. The nose hit here to me means that you're conceding the fact that you're going to get forced to one this end, which doesn't put you in a great situation going into the 10th and last stand of this game. Poor Garney. He wishes his jumping jack days were still there, but
in the rollout, so Kesslering can go top 4 here, or top 8. Make it as hard as possible to score that single.
That's for sure. Where do you put this rock to make it the most difficult for your opponents to score? You just saw the skipper attempt a nose hit and she quarter rock hit and rolled out, so possibly putting it in that same spot.
Yeah, if you put it in the top 8, it looks like, even if they nose it, that red on the side will outcount it, so to me that's the perfect spot.
Well, I'm going to make you a wager, try to get my dollar back, Bo, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say it'll either be a steal or a force of one this end, and if I'm correct, I get my dollar back from you. You know, it's pretty close to the same spot that other one was in. It looks like Kessel has a decision to make. Do we play that nose hit that she just attempted and rolled out on? Or do you draw to this rock, which initially it looked like they had ice for? I think she's decided to play the hit, possibly with a little quieter weight. And she needs to hit and stick around somewhere in the 8-foot to score one here in the 9th end.
Yep, playing the intern with, looks like controlled normal here.
Get a great view of the time clocks here with these views, and everybody can see exactly just how much time these curlers have. It's thinking time they use out here, so you'll see as she throws, the clock stops as she crosses the tee line. So they are just on the clock while they're thinking.
Looks good for one.
She makes the hit and it sticks around in the 8-foot, even touching the 4-foot to score her single.
So we're headed to the 10th end in a 4-4 tie.
And you know, still all singles throughout this whole game. And for Team Kesslering or Kessel, that's all it will take this next end is one more point to be victorious. I'm Chris and Bo, and we'll be back shortly after these short commercials.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's play curling. Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
Alrighty, folks, we are back to the final end here of our featured game, being featured here with SaskTel Curling Stadium, being pushed out to several different platforms and CURLSASK's YouTube page. We will be featuring a game throughout this entire men's and women's junior provincial event. Different sheet, different teams. Everybody's getting an opportunity to be on the featured sheet. But if you're at all interested in seeing what the other sheets are doing, that's the perk of having Curling Stadium installed in your facility. We are live streaming every single sheet, every draw, every rock. You don't have to miss it. Log on to Curling Zone, Swift Current Curling Club, CURLSASK. Find the feeds and check out the action.
So pretty good start here to the end for Team Kessel. They've got the double centers. They are a little closer together than they'd like, but still not too easy of a peel.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Bo, but I think both teams have the same game plan this end, don't they? And that's just find a way to score?
Yep, yeah, exactly. So it looks like they're going around.
Some quick scoreboard watching. Team Hamedley is up, it looks like 8-5 over Team Rachel Schlechter. They're playing the 10th end as well. And in our featured matchup, tied 4 apiece, playing the 10th end. And we're off to a great start. Double centers and a red rock buried behind those yellow ones. So here's a question that I don't know, Bo, and actually for the next live stream, I will find out the answer. They are adopting in curling a no-tick rule. And I know at the Scotties women's and the Tankard for the men's, they're implementing this. And what it is in the free rock, 5 rock guard zone rule, if a rock is touching the center line, the opposition cannot remove it off that center line. If you do, it's like a burnt stone and all the rocks go back. So this is something different, and this is something never before done. They've been testing it and playing with it a little bit throughout this season. And what it's supposed to do is really help when teams are tied or one up or one down. Really helps create for interesting last ends instead of teams just blasting away. So I'm not sure if the juniors are doing it. I'll look into that one for our viewers, but it's a neat rule, and it's making curling even that much more interesting late in these games. Yellow looking to lock one on the corner of that red stone. Coming up just a little bit light. This looked like an easy call for Kesslering, and she ran right up there to peel some guards here. What's the plan here for Team Kesslering, Bo?
Well, I think they're going to try the double peel, but